Blake felt the knot form in his stomach as he peered into the closet. This couldn't be possible. Was everything based on a lie? His mind raced with questions while his pulse sped up to that of an Olympic runner. Blake felt betrayed. She was the woman he was planning on spending the rest of his life with. He only thought he'd ever feel this hurt if she cheated on him, but she hadn't. In his mind, what she had done was worse. At that moment that Blake looked into the closet, he could only hope his attempts at fighting back the urge to vomit would be successful.
Hello, wonderful people. I'm Scott Leffler for WonderBot. And here is...
Man discovers his wife's secret hidden in a closet. Realizes he made a big mistake.
Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
Blake Ruff had never had much luck when it came to love. He was looking for something other than a fling. While his friends were out every night looking for a casual hookup, he wanted something more. He wanted something special that would make him happy for the rest of his life. Blake had many bad relationships that hadn't worked out. He was thinking of giving up on love altogether. But one day his life changed in an instant. Blake knew he'd be a changed man from that day forward. In 2003, while at a Bible study class, he saw her, Lori Erica Kennedy. He instantly fell in love with her and wanted to spend every waking moment of his life with her. When he saw her smile for even a second, it would make his day and leave butterflies in his stomach. After careful thought, Blake decided it was time to stop staring and ask her out. She agreed to date. Lori was a shy woman who came from Arizona, while Blake was part of a well-off family in Texas. Lori, being shy, didn't know anyone yet. In Blake's mind, she was the ideal woman for him. He'd soon find out that wasn't the case. It was clear that Lori had a troubled past and that she didn't want to talk about it. After both her parents passed away, she was left with no inheritance because her father lost everything as a stockbroker. Blake respected her wishes, but his family didn't. They probed him with questions about her. Blake didn't worry too much about the questions, but he should have been a bit more curious, like his family was. Although Blake's family was hesitant to have Lori as part of the family, the couple got married in 2004 and moved away from his family. They went to Leonard, Texas, where in 2008 they had a baby girl. Lori changed after this. She was very protective over their daughter and wouldn't even let Blake's mother hold her. From the outside, the marriage seemed to be just fine. But Blake's family was worried about him, and they felt something was off. Something wasn't right about Lori. She even started looking at the Ruff family history very intently, while she wouldn't share anything about her own. Tensions were at their highest between Blake's family and his wife. This, in turn, complicated their marriage a great deal. When Lori told Blake that his family couldn't visit their daughter anymore, he felt that he couldn't just sit back anymore. After one last attempt of reconciliation, Blake finally saw that Lori wasn't the woman he had fallen for. He decided to move back in with his family and go forward with divorce proceedings. Blake could breathe a sigh of relief to get on with his life, ushering in a new chapter. He had no idea what would happen next. After a few weeks of living with his family again, Blake started feeling good again. With his family by his side, nothing could get to him, right? Then one day he got some terrible news that he couldn't believe. His ex-wife, Lori, had passed away. Blake couldn't believe it. He dropped to his knees and cried out in anguish. He thought this would be the worst he could feel. He didn't know what was about to come. After a month of mourning, Blake drove back to their house and needed to sort out their belongings. He was busy sorting out her wardrobe when he felt a sensation running down his spine. He found out that he was right to move back in with his family. His wife had been hiding something from him. She wasn't the person she had said she was, and had many secrets she didn't tell Blake. Blake didn't like sorting through her things in the house they'd bought together all too recently. There were many happy and sad memories inside the walls. But then Blake stumbled upon a trunk sealed at the back of Lori's closet. Blake had seen it before, he just forgot about it. Lori had always stressed to him the importance of letting her keep her privacy. As a doting husband, Blake didn't bat an eye. But now he'd have to open the trunk. A policeman broke open the trunk and found several documents and IDs with numerous names and states. Blake saw a birth certificate of a woman with a name Blake had never heard. The name change would have been when Lori was 17 years old. Blake didn't understand. It was confusing for him. He felt his pulse start to climb. He needed to find the truth, and he needed to find it quickly. Inside the document, it revealed that Becky Sue Turner legally changed her name to Lori Erica Kennedy in 1988. But a little digging on this strange tragedy revealed something even more bizarre. Becky Sue Turner and her siblings passed away in a house fire in Washington State in 1971 when she was just 2 years old. What was the truth? The authorities and experts claimed Lori Ruff was now Jane Doe, and investigators started to piece together the strange puzzle of this mystery woman's life. The only clear thing was that because Becky Sue passed away in a different state than she was born, Lori had obviously gone to extreme lengths to keep her true identity a secret. But there were still hundreds of questions that Blake needed answers to. Investigators also found that she obtained a state ID and social security card as Lori Erica Kennedy in Idaho and received her GED and a degree in business from the University of Texas. So when the investigators ran her fingerprints and face through databases, they were stumped to find no matches. Although she was linked to a few disappearing women, none of them led anywhere. Investigators thought they'd learned the truth, but 6 years later, this mind-boggling and bizarre case was finally about to get cracked. It wasn't until genealogist Colleen Fitzpatrick learned of Lori's bizarre case in 2013 and took a saliva sample from Lori's young daughter to try and find a DNA connection. The tension was high as Colleen and investigators awaited the results. And finally, a few days later, she was matched with many distant relatives around the world, the closest being Michael Cassidy, who lived in Pennsylvania. Colleen informed the man and jumped on a plane to question Michael's relatives. Finally, the truth was about to reveal, right? Immediately, a family member recognized the face on the ID cards as Kimberly McLean, meaning investigators would finally get the truth about Lori. In 1986, 17-year-old Kimberly disappeared from her Pennsylvania home after her mother remarried a man she didn't like or care for. She told her mother to never look for her, and she was never heard from again. Although Lori Erica Huff's true identity was finally discovered years after her passing, there are still periods in her life that are completely unknown, and any other secrets that woman was undeniably hiding has been taken with her to the grave forever.